Hi everybody. So for your main task this week, you're going to use Desmos, take your own photo of a parabola and fit a quadratic function to it. So you really have a lot of options here, whether you want to use an app like Motion Shot, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, that's here. It can be helpful. I just did it on my iPhone, but I know that it's on other devices as well. So you can take a live action shot if you want to, or maybe you've got something outside or in your home that models a parabola. You can use that. You can basically take a picture of anything so long as you can fit a quadratic function to it. So your task is here, using Desmos, take your own photo of a parabola and fit a quadratic function to it. As it says, you may take a photo of something you see or use an app on your phone like Motion Shot to get an action shot. You're going to submit your final Desmo link right here. And I'm going to be recording a video. That's me right now. I'm putting it in right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to model how to do this. So you're first of all going to open up Desmos, just regular Desmos. And you're going to start graphing. Before you do anything, I'd like you to title this. I'm going to write down Kim Moody quadratic picture. So please make sure that you are labeling yours like that. Your first and last name and quadratic picture. And I'm saving that first of all, right away, done. At that point, you've already got your picture at this point. Like I said, play around with the app. It all depends on how much time you have and how comfortable you are with that. But I think you could have a lot of fun with the app. So you've got your picture. At this point, you already have your picture. And you're going to add an image to Desmos. Like here. So I've already got mine in here. I took a picture of Bear throwing a basketball, one of his favorite things to do, and it just inserts it. Now you can play around, you can change the center, the size on it if you want to. I'm just going to leave it as it is though. So you've got your picture in Desmos at this point, and then you're going to want to enter in an expression. You can either press, f of x here, or you can just use what pops up. And here's what I've got to think, right? Like, what is my equation? And I can use factored form, or I could use standard form, or I could do both. It's up to you. So I'm going to just go ahead with standard form to begin with. So I'm going to say y is equal to, because obviously that's a good place to start. Now, I know that this opens downwards, so I know it's got to be negative x squared. So I'm going to put that in first. As you can see, it's not in the spot I wanted to be in. That's fine. So what does standard form tell me? Well, it tells me about the y-intercept. So I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, what's my y-intercept? My y-intercept is going to be around, I don't know, maybe 3.5. See what we think. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Hang on. Plus 3.5 is what I'm putting in right now. So I'm playing around with the rest of it. Okay, that's not too bad. I actually want it a little bit lower, so I'm going to say 3.4. You don't have to be perfect here. You really don't. And I need this to be wider. So I know, and I can just play around this quickly. If I made this number bigger, or basically smaller because it's -5, it's going to be narrower. I don't want that. So I'm going to want this to be, let's try -0.5. Needs to be narrower than that. Maybe 0.25, -0.25. And actually, you know what? That's pretty good. For the purposes of me demoing this, I'm going to leave it at that. So that's a pretty good curve. However, this goes down. I don't want it to go all the way down. I actually want to model my picture. So what I'm going to do here is use brackets, and I'm going to restrict my domain. So when I look left to right, this throwing the ball around about here, I'm going to say that's around -4.5, and I can adjust this if I want to. And I'm going to restrict my domain. So please don't forget to do this. And it's going to stop about 5. Let's try that and see where we're at. And you know what? I think that's pretty good. So that's us fitting a quadratic function in standard form to a quadratic picture. I can also play around with factored form. And you know what? I may do that just because you can see then what I'm thinking. So I'm going to stick with the number I've got here, -0.25, because it worked pretty well. Let's see. I'm going to look at my zeros for this one. So where does it intercept? It's about negative 3.75. So that would make this x plus 3.75. And I'll make it the same here, I think. Yeah, it is about the same. So that's x, I don't know why that's the x, that'll be minus 3.75. This may not be the exact same equation, but it actually is pretty close, isn't it? So again, I would do a similar thing with my domain here as well. So I'm going to just do the exact same thing. So it's going through the same points. It's going from the same direction, left to right, horizontally. So that's going to be negative 4.5. And we said 5, didn't we? Here we go. Oh, I wasn't looking at what I was typing. Okay, so I've got to put 5 in here. There we go. So I can make that one disappear. I can make that one here. So you don't need to put both in here, by the way. You can, you certainly can, but you don't have to. So just one of these would be sufficient. There we go. So at this point, my project is complete. And I'll just say, for argument's sake, I want to stick with factored form here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I've labeled it. And I'm going to go to this share button up here. And what I'm going to do is share this link. Now, it's really important that you realize that if you were to make any changes after you share the link, they won't be saved. I didn't realize this before, but when you save in Desmos, every single save has a slightly different, from what I understand, a slightly different URL, I guess. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm making a mistake. I'm going to press save first, and then I'm going to do this. Sorry. Glad I make these mistakes, though, because then you can see what not to do. Press save first, then go to share, then go to copy. Then at this point, you will go back, and I can probably do this actually. If I present this, I hope you can still see this. You're going to, and there's my video here, so this page might look a little bit different by the time I post this. You're going to submit your Desmos link here. So this will open up a Google form, which just seems to be an easy way for me to get everything from you. You're going to fill this in with your class you're in, your last name, and you're going to enter your link right here. And you're going to press submit. So I hope you have fun with this. I wanted to show you guys something different. I do think that this is really valuable in getting you used to quadratic graphs and the ways that they're written. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Have some fun. Like I said, play around with this Motion Shot app. I don't want this to be too time consuming, but quite honestly, I do think it could be quite a lot of fun. So you don't have to use the Motion Shots app. You can use pictures similar to what you saw in the Desmos activity. I want them to be your own photos though. So yeah, have some fun with this. It doesn't matter where the photo comes from in terms of whether you've done the motion shot or whether you've taken a picture, but you do need to fit it to it. And it should be your own photo, not one that you find online. So thanks. Have fun this week.